good morning and thanks for coming out today. Before we talk about the Week of Valor, I'd like to say a few words about the tragedies of this past week. The hate crime at a grocery store in our community and a horrific hate crime in Pittsburgh on Saturday. These were crimes driven by hate, and both driven, I believe, by people who seek to divide us as a nation instead of bringing us together. It's time to bring the courage that created America that works every day to solve impenetrable problems to the task of healing our country and bringing Americans together. Later, I will be announcing specific actions my administration is taking to tackle hate and violence in our community. And on Wednesday, I will be inviting the community and faith leaders to come here to Metro Hall to talk about these action steps and also much of the work that is already underway here with the leadership of our Chief Equity Officer, Kelly Watson. Representatives of the Government Alliance for Racial Equity will help facilitate that discussion. We'll send out more information about those conversations later today. I know that people in our community and around our country are very sad and fearful and even feeling hopeless when they see this type of hate on our streets. These are natural reactions to unspeakable horrors, the crimes of hate that we've seen in our country and in our city this past week. But one of the things that I'm most proud about with our city is the social muscle that we've been building to get us through times like this. In events throughout our community this weekend, we've seen it. Louisville comes together in times of tragedy, and we use our social muscle to share our grief and to talk openly about our challenges and to get to work addressing those challenges. It's appropriate that we're talking about facing challenges this week as we prepare for our Week of Valor, where we honor our veterans, because no one understands how to do that better than the millions of Americans of all races, all faiths, all backgrounds, who've worn the uniform of our country, fought for our freedom, for the equality enshrined in the Constitution, and for its guarantee of the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The freedoms of our great country are available to us because throughout our history, brave men and women have stepped forward to join our military and have sworn an oath to protect and defend the United States of America, to keep us safe and to keep us free. And they did that even though it could cost them their lives. And for some, it did. And for others, they live with the consequences of their service every day of their lives. That's why we decided to revive the Veterans Day Parade when I came into office. It had lapsed and it needed to be brought back. My team and I also thought it was important to invite our city's school children to participate. Honoring and showing gratitude to our veterans is the right thing to do, and it's critical that citizens learn that from an early age. In Louisville, our appreciation for our veterans led us to the realization that they needed even more support from us here as a community. That's why we worked with the Veterans Community Alliance of Louisville, or VCAL, to establish the Week of Valor, because one day of honoring our veterans' service was not enough. Now in its 5th year, the Week of Valor has grown to 10 days of activities and 17 events starting this Friday, November the 2nd. And we're asking everyone across the community to find some way to recognize, support, and honor our veterans. The Week of Valor provides many ways to do that, with educational, patriotic, community, and civic activities. I want to thank all the sponsors and organizers of these events, representing government, businesses, nonprofits, community groups, and others for their passion and their dedication. I especially want to acknowledge the work of John Miles. John is a veteran, and he heads the Louisville Metro Office for Veterans, part of the Office of Resilience and Community Services. John also serves as the Metro Liaison for VCAL, and this year is also serving as this year's Week of Valor Chairman. So we appreciate the great job you do every day, John. Thank you. The recognition that we need to honor and support veterans every day is also why I was one of the first mayors in the country to sign on to the Mayor's Challenge to end veterans homelessness in 2014. It was a challenge from the Obama White House. We worked with VCAL, the Coalition for the Homeless, and other community partners to set an ambitious goal to house all of the homeless veterans in our city within a year. We achieved and continue to maintain what we call functional zero in Louisville, meaning that we are housing homeless veterans as fast as we're able to identify them. Since we started, more than 1,000 homeless veterans have been placed in permanent or transitional housing programs since 2015. Special thanks to the team from Louisville Metro Housing Authority, Family Health Centers, Volunteers of America, and the Robley Rex VA Homeless Program that continues to work together to make this happen. So I want to thank everybody for their great job in this effort. And every October, the Coalition for the Homeless, Louisville Metro Office of Resilience and Community Services, and the VA come together for a one-day resource fair called Stand Down, Project Homeless Connect at the Salvation Army. This helps homeless vets and others get the resources they need to live better lives. We want our veterans to know in Louisville that we get it, we understand that the price of freedom is high, and our veterans are the ones who've paid it. We also want them to know that we need to do our part to pick up the tab. And we want Louisville to become a destination city for veterans who may be separating from the military and looking to transition to the next stage of their careers. We continue to work with organizations like Where Opportunity Knocks, K-N-O-X, like Fort Knox, to help veterans and military spouses connect jobs here in the Louisville area, as well as building closer ties to not just Fort Knox, but also Fort Campbell. Since Where Opportunity Knocks began over 3 years ago, nearly 8,500 veterans have taken jobs with Louisville area companies. Today, there's a new strategic focus to bring veteran talent all the way to the employer's doorstep so they can get a firsthand understanding of what it's like to work at some of our region's great companies. The bottom line is that our veterans served us. Now we want to serve them in every way we can because it's the right thing to do, and it's obviously good for everybody. Again, I want to thank all the sponsors of all of our initiatives aimed at supporting veterans and their families, as well as the sponsors and organizers at our Week of Valor events. And once again, thanks to all of our veterans and active duty service members for your service and sacrifice on behalf of our country. We will forever be in debt. Now to talk more about the Week of Valor, please welcome our chairman, John Miles. John?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Mayor Fisher, Chief Freelander, Dr. Brown, Stacy Norris, and distinguished guests. It is an honor to stand before you as the Veteran Coordinator over the Office for Veterans and the Chairperson over the 5th Annual 2018 Mayor's Week of Valor Planning Committee, which is as part of the Veteran Community Alliance of Louisville, which we call VCAL. At this time, I would like to ask all of our committee members to raise their hands who are here representing Veterans Community Alliance of Louisville, Dr. Brown, who is the chair. We have Cedric Jones, we have Whitney Allen here. I think it's important that I recognize everyone because it is a team effort. John Miles could not do this by himself, so I want to take the time and give credit where credit is due. I also like to recognize Where Opportunity Knocks, who does great work in our community and also Fort Knox. I also like to recognize the NAACP Veterans Committee. Also, I would like to recognize all of my VCAL committee who is here today. If I missed anyone, then I apologize. I would like to personally thank you for all your hard work, your dedication to enhance services and resources to all the veterans in the Louisville Metro community. Each year, the Mayor's Week of Valor not only celebrates all of our veterans, active duty military, reserve, and National Guard, but also all of the great organizations in our community who scheduled events celebrating and honoring our many military heroes. I too served 30 years as an active Army and Army Reserve soldier. This year, we are fortunate to have 17 events scheduled around our community. If you have not received a copy Their copies are provided here today. If you have received a copy, please follow along. And I'm only, to save time, I'm only going to name out a few events, about 5 or 6. And if I don't name your event, just know that it was due to time constraints. We're going to start this week, November 2nd, and then it's going to go through November 11th, which is Sunday, Veterans Day. We're going to start off with Volunteers of America Mid-States Fall Cleanup, which is located right there at 1436 South Shelby. They have a Veterans Center. So please come out if you have the time to help clean up around the facility, inside the facility, the garden area, and to really beautify the place. Team Red, November 3rd, Saturday, November 3rd, Team Red, White, and Blue will have a Week of Valor Ruck March. And if any of you are missing, putting on that backpack and rucking for about a couple of miles, it'll be in J-Town, and they have a great route mapped out. Please come out and support that. Saturday, November 3rd, from 8 to 12:30. SMVF Task Force will do again, their 22 push-up challenge. And if you want to come out and do 22 push-ups for a worthy cause, because most of the events, any money raised goes to charity. So please come out and support that. Epilepsy Foundation, Monday, November 5th, once again hosts the 2018 Kentucky Veteran of the Year Banquet. One of my greatest partners, Robley Rex VA Medical Center, will host their Veterans Wellness Expo Thursday, November 8th from 2 to 4. And this year, mark your calendars, the 8th Annual Veterans Day Parade will not be on Veterans Day because Veterans Day is on Sunday, and Mr. Wayne Hedinger is going to go into detail on that. That event will be held November 9th, Friday, from 11 to 1. And then the last event that I'm going to highlight is NAVVET's unveiling celebration of the Charles Young Veterans Memorial, and that's going to happen at the Kentucky African American Heritage Center. And that's going to be from 12 to 6. Unveiling will happen at 2 o'clock. Now, this schedule, which I just named off, these few events, can be found on the various websites that I'm about to name off so that you could get more details, times, dates, and about the events themselves. You can find these events on LouisvilleKentucky.gov website, vcalouisville.org, our Metro Veterans Facebook page, Veterans Community Alliance of Louisville Facebook page and Instagram, and also our Resilience Community Services Facebook page. For additional questions and information, I can be reached at 502-574-5748 or 502-536-2119. Thank you so much for your time and attention.
Thank you, John. Appreciate you. Wayne Hedinger is no stranger to anybody in Louisville. From all of the events that he's put on over the year, most notably Thunder over Louisville, to the talents that he and his team have brought to the Veterans Day Parade, it's become a pinnacle of our VCAL Week of Valor. So, Wayne, if you could explain what's going to happen this year, we'd appreciate it. Wayne Hedinger.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Like John was saying, the parade has moved time and as well as location. This year, we're moving to Jefferson Street. Two things. There was construction going on Main Street. Jefferson Street, I really like because it allowed us a lot more room for spectators. So I'm anxious about this move. It'll start at 7th Street and move east to 4th Street. It's a very short parade, and the idea behind that was to give all veterans a chance to participate. So we've got some elderly vets that wanted to be in the parade, and they're able to make that short parade route. So we're pretty excited about that. It's compressed. So if we can just encourage everyone to line up between 7th and 4th. That's going to be our route. Mayor Fisher and the other VIPs will be on the review stand right out in front of Metro Hall. And that's where all the announcements will be made, and it will start at 11 a.m. There's more than 70, sorry, my throat's drying. There's more than 70 units in the parade this year. Our Grand Marshal is Major General Evans from Fort Knox, and we'll be honoring and saluting Fort Knox 100th anniversary. New in the parade is the Kentucky Colonels. They're gathering from all over the state, and this will be part of their celebration to veterans. Kentucky Patriot Guard. I think most of you are familiar with them. They're joining us this year. That's the veteran motorcycle group that escorts veterans to their final resting point. So we're excited and proud to have them with us. Operation Cookie. This is a organization done by the Girl Scouts, and it's all about getting cookies to our veterans overseas. So they're going to be on a 1.5-deuce truck with a pallet, several pallets of cookies, and they're going to share it with everybody here that comes to the parade. They'll have a booth up on the in Jefferson Park. I don't want to forget everybody's favorites, all the military equipment and trucks and equipment that will be in the parade. So everybody's looking forward to that. Several schools will be with us. All the school kids are going to be here with flags, and they're going to create a corridor of flags down Jefferson Street for this corridor for the parade. There's going to be several booths in Jefferson Park as well, so please stop by to see what's available there. Following the parade is going to be the massing and blessing of colors, and that will be at the review stand. And all this couldn't happen without the sponsors. I can't ignore them. Most importantly, Louisville Metro and Mayor Fisher, the UAW 886, let me repeat that, UAW 862, Ford Motor Company, KDVA, Humana, UPS, and a growing list of others. This is the one day that everybody in the community has a chance to come and support our veterans. So I'm encouraging everybody to bring the kids, come down on the parade route, and be proud of the people that have served this country. Thank you. Yes, if you would.
Just also one note, obviously this is 100 years since World War I, 1918, so there'll be some special emphasis on that during the parade as well. Now we're honored to be joined by a recently retired veteran who will share her story about the support that she received when seeing a new beginning or thinking about a new beginning coming out of the military in the greater Louisville region. We're very grateful that she stayed here in the area. Maria Cantu, an Army Sergeant First Class, retired. Maria served 20 years on active duty and another 5 years in the Army Reserve in a variety of leadership and management positions, and is now helping our great city. Sergeant?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to thank Mayor Fisher and the greater Louisville community for recognizing and supporting our veterans. I am truly honored to God for allowing our family to proudly serve our great country. I served 25 years in the Army before retiring this past June. My husband, Jesus, is a retired war veteran, and our son, Chris, is currently serving. We are blessed by the support of our families, friends, and our children, Chris, David, and Ava. I want to thank Where Opportunity Knocks for helping me transition into the position I am now. We chose to stay in the greater Louisville area because of the great community, the education opportunities, employment, and entrepreneurship. We always like to take time and remember our brothers and sisters at arms who have served and are still continue to serve, and those we have lost. We ask God to protect those who are currently deployed. May they make it home safe to their families so they can do the same. Thank you.
we have, I also want to applaud all the veterans as well as the active duty men and women on active duty who are joining us in the gallery today, both up here and out there. Many of them were spotlighted in yesterday's Courier Journal, so be sure to check them out. And I want to thank the Courier for highlighting the Week of Valor and all of the activities that are coming up here in the coming days. You notice when Wayne talked about elderly people, he pointed to you over there. I mean, I don't know, I would take offense to that if I was you. You look like you got a lot of spunk left to me. It's my great privilege to introduce Charles Farmer, a World War II veteran. He grew up in Louisville and started cutting hair when he was 14 years old. 12 years old. Okay, facts matter. He volunteered, enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps on December 10th, 1941, 3 days after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. While serving in the Pacific, he took part in amphibious assaults on Guadalcanal, Cape Gloucester, New Britain, and Peleliu. This was some of the toughest fighting during the war. Of the roughly 15,000 1st Marine Division veterans, of the roughly 15,000 1st Marine Division Marines who landed on Guadalcanal in August 1942, he is believed to be the sole living veteran. Mr. Farmer married his wife Gladys December 1944, and 74 years later, they are still married and have 2 sons and still live in the house they built in 1951 on Southern Parkway. Mr. Farmer has been cutting hair since he was 12 and only retired 2 years ago.
Right.
We got that right?
My son said I was wimping out at 93.
Okay, so his son chastised him, said he was wimping out at the age of 93. Well, that's not all he did. He also managed the cafeteria that was located in the backside of Churchill Downs for 30 years. He's escorted by retired First Sergeant James Dollar. I'd like to present Mr. Farmer with this special certificate because he truly is a Louisville original, an American hero. Mr. Farmer, this is the City of Louisville honoring you in recognition of your distinguished military service in defense of our nation during World War II. Truly a Louisville original, an American hero, Charles served proudly in the United States Marine Corps, fighting bravely in 3 amphibious assaults in the Pacific Theater. Our city salutes you for your personal sacrifices during the war and for your continued contributions back home in our community. God bless you.
Thank you very much. What an honor. Thank you.
Well, you deserve it.
Thank you, sir.
Would you like to say anything?
By the way, I was in the recruiting office the day after Pearl Harbor. I didn't sign, they didn't sign me till 3 days
So
ago.
you were ready one day.
Right.
Okay. So we want to confirm that too. He was in the recruiting office one day after the bombing, and and so they were only ready for him 3 days later. But throughout that time, I think, Mr. Farmer, we had so many Americans say, an attack on our country is an attack on me, or attack on my family. And fortunately, many people, answered the call. And here we are today. So let's keep working together to make our nation a more perfect union. We got a lot to work on, but I'm confident that we can do it. So thanks everybody for coming out today. And again, Mr. Farmer, thank you so much for being here. God bless you and your family.